I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Jubilo Afonso of the Portuguese Lions Club. Jubilo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So first of all, tell me a little about yourself. You're an attorney, you got a couple of kids. What's going on in your life?
Well, I'm an attorney here in the city of Elizabeth, born and raised here. I've got 2 boys and a beautiful wife, great family, and raising them here in the city.
And they're twins.
Yes, they're twins. They're 4 years old and balls of energy.
But tell me that story you told me before the thing when one got sick and you had to split them up. And that's a great story.
Well, it was yesterday. They're 4 years old, and it's the first time that they've been separated the whole day. So one of them is sick, and I have to take Benjamin to school, and I take Edward to my mother's house. I call my mother in the morning and say, "Mom, can you watch me sick?" She says, "Yeah, of course, bring him over here." So I take him over there, and he's miserable the whole morning.
Because he's sick.
He's sick, he's crying, he's not in a good mood. And when I go to see him in the afternoon, I asked him, "So, Edward, did you miss your brother?" And he said, "No." I said, "No, this morning he didn't want to leave him." He said, "I pretended he was playing with me all day."
And that's a precious story.
I'll remember that forever.
That's right. That's one you got to write down. So you've been a member of the Portuguese Lions Club for a long time. Since you could walk, probably, right?
Well,
the Leos and
exactly, yeah. The youth group, the Elizabeth Portuguese Leos. I was with them before, and then when you reach a certain age, they kick you out and make you join the older people.
Is there a process to actually throw you out, or
there is an age limit? It's 25. I did move over before the age limit.
But did they put a form in front of you and say, "Hey, join this one now"?
Well, all of your friends are there poking and saying, "Come on, come over here." So I'm not going to say feel pressured because you want to help, but it is hard to leave one organization and go to the other. You have friends on both sides and you want to help everybody, but they're...
So 25 is the age limit on the Portuguese Leos?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And the Portuguese Lions Club is the larger group. It's the adults, let's put it that way. And it's been in existence for 38 years now, since 1978. And for the better part of that, we've been running this event, the Elizabeth Portuguese Lions Club Community Thanksgiving Luncheon, which we hold on Thanksgiving Day. But it's been in existence for well over 30 years now.
And tell us about that event, because I get to go to it every year, and it's, along with the earlier part of the show, between you and them and some others, you feed a lot of people. But you don't do the pick up and go.
No, we actually host a luncheon for them. It's a dinner, but it's held during lunch hours between 12 to 2. And what we do is we hold it at the Stephen Sampson Senior Center, which is at 800 Anna Street. It's on the corner of Anna and Division Street in Elizabeth. And we've been holding it there for the better part of the last 9 years. Before that, we held it at St. Patrick's Church down in the port area of Elizabeth. So the main difference between our event and the last event that you were just speaking about is that we hold the actual luncheon there. We host people for the event. We have an army of volunteers. It's the same people, I'm not going to say the same people every year, but there are people that religiously come year after year, along with new people that we welcome graciously. They come and they greet the people at the door, they seat them and treat them to an entire meal, from drinks to a salad to a meal with turkey, all of the fixins, yams, sweet potato, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and then they proceed on to dessert, right? Along with coffee, tea, you name it. Afterwards, that's the prepared meal. Afterwards, we do have other items, food items that are not prepared. We rely our entire event on donations, and thankfully, people are very giving around this time of year. We collect more donations than we need in order to prepare all of the meals, which is well over 300.
And how many turkeys do you?
Well, we collect well over 20 turkeys, and we prepare about 15. All right. All of the other turkeys that we collect, as I said, we go and we have a raffle. We give everyone a raffle ticket, and the turkeys, as well as other items that we have there that are unprepared, we go and give to the people that are in attendance. That way they can take home and use for dinner another day.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but we have so many volunteers.
The work beforehand. I always see the volunteers when I get there, and they're lined up around the building ready to serve. But the work that goes in ahead of time, Jubilo, do you coordinate that? That seems to be the work
I'd
that
like
I'm
to
referring
take credit for that, but
Well, go ahead. There's nobody else on the show but you. So take all the credit you want.
I can't. There's a group of cooks that have been there since well before I even started helping.
Councilman Grover's father's been cooking for years, right?
He's the main one. Last year, he
wasn't feeling well.
He wasn't feeling well. Yeah. He wasn't able to make it, and he directed everything from Florida.
Did he really?
He did. He was on the
Skype?
phone. No, over the phone. I don't know if they Skype, but he was on the phone with his daughter the entire time, telling her, "Go into this pantry, go into that cupboard, get this, get that," and I'm telling you, it was like he was there.
So is it open to anyone?
It is open to everyone. Our focus is on the needy and the elderly, but it is absolutely open to anyone that wants to come and have Thanksgiving with a great group of people.
Now, do you have registration or any shape or form like that?
Absolutely not. Yeah. We have never had an issue with not having meals for people, and I've always said that I make a personal guarantee that if we don't have meals, I will go buy food for anyone that shows up.
Because you have that much food, right?
Thankfully, yes.
Yeah. So what's the turnout like?
We usually serve close to 300 meals. Right? And that is for all of the people that show up, and some people do take meals home for either later on that evening or for people that couldn't attend. We also provide buses in order to provide transportation for people to come. I understand that for some of the elderly, as well as some of the needy, it's hard to get to one location in a city the size of Elizabeth. So we have bus service that goes to several of the senior homes, 7 different locations throughout Elizabeth. 6 of them are senior homes, as well as St. Patrick's Church, because that was our home of our luncheon for so long. And they pick up people between the hours of 11 and 12. That flyer itself was mailed to well over 300 people on a mailing list that's populated from the city, from the Office on Aging, who help us distribute news of this event to everybody.
And a police officer drives the bus?
Yes, police officer from the city of Elizabeth every year donates his time. It's difficult to get people to donate their time on a day like Thanksgiving because everyone wants to be home with their families, but at the same time, they feel like they're giving so much to people that need it that we've never had an issue getting someone to either serve, or in this case, having a police officer drive the bus. I apologize. Officer Michael Bednarz did it for many years. This year, I'm not quite sure who it is, but I'm positive that we will have an officer that's going to be going and able to transport all of the citizens. So
Jubilo, besides the Portuguese Lions Club, are there any other financial sponsors or any other sponsors that help out here?
Well, the PBA from the City of Elizabeth has been one of our main sponsors. They've been giving us 20 turkeys for this event for well over 15 years. The other sponsors, Investor Savings Bank, goes and provides all of the desserts for the evening. And there are many sponsors that donate all of the other individual things, as far as drinks to coffee. I do have sponsors that tell me every year, you can count on me, come here, they give the exact same thing, whether it be coffee or soda, and they don't want any recognition. They just want to make sure that the things go to the people that need them.
And who picks all that stuff up?
I do.
You do?
My office is closed for a day or two before Thanksgiving.
Because everything's sitting in your office.
Everything's sitting in my office and in my back seat.
What are the hours? Again, you said 12 to 2 is a strict time of lunches, and then...
No, that's the time that we start serving people.
Oh, you start serving at 12.
We open up the doors at 10 a.m. in order to go and organize all of the volunteers to be there. Mm-hmm. And we say 2 o'clock because that's usually the time that we start to wrap up. That being said, obviously, if someone shows up at 2 o'clock, we're still there. They are being seated and being treated with the same respect as everyone that got there at noontime.
And it's at the Sampson Center on 800 Anna Street.
800 Anna, right on the corner of Anna and Division.
Okay. And if anybody has any questions, they want to make a phone call between now and Thanksgiving about this event, who do they call? What's the number? I'm
going to give them my cell number. You can reach me at all the time. If I don't pick up, I do call you right back. My phone number is 908-447-9735.
Jubilo, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show, as well as representing the Portuguese Lions and all the great work they do on Thanksgiving Day and feeding people, not only this year, but for the last 30 years.
No, I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. Having us on this show the last couple of years has always been a great help in informing the public about this event. We want to thank you and the city for providing us with the center on that day and all of the help that you do for this event.
Thank you, Jubilo.
Thank you.
For Mr. Jubilo Afonso of the Portuguese Lions Club, as well as Mr. Thomas Eicher, the board president at the Eport Presbyterian Center, and Krishna Garlic, the Director of Health and Human Services, I'm Chris Bolwage. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
Where will the next generation of scientists come from? Right here. Kane University.